Good morning, fam. Just wanted to share a short message with you out of Luke chapter 14, verse 25 through 33. It says, "Now a great multitude went with him, and he turned and said to them, If anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even his own life, he cannot be my disciples. And whoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple." And so the first category he's speaking to is people that are putting people before him. It could be your mother and your father. It could be your wife and your children. It could be your siblings. And it can also be yourself. And so God's not going to be contending for our heart. He has to have his place on the throne. It says, "And whoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple." So I just want to ask you to examine your heart and see if there's anybody, whether it be family members or even yourself, that comes before, that has priority over God in your heart. And if it is, then reprioritize these things. Put God in his proper place and allow him to love these people selflessly, because if we put them first, we can easily love them selfishly. And so, and then he tells us that we got to bear our cross. This is the cost of discipleship. We got to love our family members less. When he says hate, he doesn't mean hate in the sense where we think, but he means love less than we love him. And so it can appear that we hate them. It says, "Whoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple." And so we got to die to self. Is there any kind of behavior, thoughts, or attitudes that are in our life that are conflicting with our relationship with God? If there is, then those things need to die. He says, "For which of you intending to build a tower does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it?" And so that's the next part of the cost of discipleship is, what is it going to cost us? Well, the answer for me was everything. The answer for you, everything. We know that our salvation is free. We're saved by grace through faith and not of our works. It's a gift of God. But also it's going to cost us everything. There's lots of things in our life that are interfering with our relationship with God. And so I just want you to consider the cost. Are you willing to pay everything? Are you willing to give it all up? This speaks of an absolute unconditional surrender of everything. It says, "Lest after he's laid the foundation is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him." And so if we don't put God first, if we don't take up our cross, if we're not willing to pay everything, we're not going to be able to finish. It says that people are going to begin to mock us. It says, "Or what king going to war against another king does not sit down first and consider whether he's able with his 10,000 to meet him who comes against him with 20,000? Or else while he's still a great way off, he sends a delegation and asks for conditions of peace." And so you think about that. If this guy, he says, "Yeah, I'm going to go to war with you with 10,000, goes against somebody with 20,000. If he's going to send a delegation of peace, it's going to cost him something." And so it says in verse 33, "So likewise, whoever you does not forsake all that he has cannot be my disciple." And so keep this in mind. God doesn't only want us to be a disciple of his, but he also wants us to disciple others. And so, something else I want to ask you is, are you a disciple of Christ? Are you, a disciple is like an apprentice, one who learns and then he does, learns and does, puts what he learns into action. And then us discipling others is teaching, like the Great Commission in Matthew 28, we're going to making disciples of all the nation, not just evangelizing the world, but discipling them, teaching them the things that God has taught us. And if you're not doing that, I would encourage you to start pouring into somebody, help building somebody up in their faith. And so, again, when he says, "Forsake all that he has, he cannot be my disciple," this speaks of the absolute unconditional surrender of all. And so I just want you to examine your heart and see if anything needs to be changed, whether it be your priority, whether it be something that needs to die in your life, something that you got to take up your cross. I hear a lot of people saying that this is the way I was born, this is the way, and the answer to that is you must be born again. As we're born again from above, God empowers us, he enables us. He's the one that changes us from glory to glory. God's word says that he works in us both to will and to do his good pleasure. And this only comes through a surrendered life. Obviously, if you could have changed it already, you would have. Same thing with me. And I couldn't, but as I surrendered these things to God, he changed my heart and as he changed my heart, my attitude, my actions, my desires, all these other things changed. So just want to share that with you. You guys have a great day and God bless.